Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day, and without any further ado, let's jump right into it. A closely followed analyst within the cryptocurrency space says that crypto whales have been gobbling, that's the word they use, gobbling up hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Ethereum over the course of the last 7 days. Yep, once again, we're getting a lot of whale news that's been taking place. There's a lot of whale movement news always in the space. There's a lot of cryptocurrencies being taken off of cryptocurrency exchanges. We normally see this as a precursor or one of the before events of an actual crazy bull run where, for whatever reason, any crypto that's on an exchange begins to be moved off. Not sure why specifically it happens at that time where the masses take it off, but it has a very strong effect on the actual price of the coins. The other thing is the actual buying of these coins. We've been talking about whale purchasing for a very long time. This isn't anything new. It's more so we're constantly getting like really ridiculous numbers when it comes to the amount of crypto that's being purchased. In a new thread, a crypto analyst or strategist by the name of Ali Martinez told people on Twitter that apparently deep-pocketed traders have accumulated tens of thousands of Ether over the course of the past week. You're going to see a really weird trend in this video. I'm not sure what happened, why it's happening, or who first brought it up, but it's currently where we are. They said some of the largest Ethereum whales have been on a buying spree, scooping up over 100,000 Ether in just the past week. That's a whopping 230 million US dollars. And then there's a little pretty chart right here because there's always a lot of charts. Yes, whales are buying a lot. If you've missed the last couple of videos or just simply haven't been paying attention to what's happening in the cryptocurrency space, I was going to say certain people know, it seems to be everyone, is accumulating right now in their own kind of way. But we're also getting a lot of news and speculation as to where prices could be going. I mean, anything from Q1 of next year to summer next year to heaven help us, spring and summer of 2025, how high prices might be. But we're seeing a lot of accumulation happening right now. And any accumulation that's taking place now, any coins that are being taken off of cryptocurrency exchanges are going to have a vastly positive effect on the prices of those coins as we move into the new year, which it almost is, which is crazy because time is flying a lot quicker than I would assume any of us actually expected that it was going to. That's the Ethereum whale news. We typically get a lot of like Bitcoin whale buying news, but of course it happens as well for Ether. And yeah, let's move on. In other news, this was touted as one of the greatest things that has ever happened to the cryptocurrency space, and it's something we all should be holding hands and singing great praises of within the streets. Bitcoin and Tether are apparently the favorite cryptocurrencies of someone by the name of Howard Lutnick, Lutnick, who's the CEO of the Wall Street broker firm known as Cantor Fitzgerald. Very bougie name. He said, "I am a fan of crypto, but let me be very specific. Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin. These other coins, they are just not a thing," he said during an interview with CNBC's Money Movers podcast. Lutnick also said that he's a fan of Tether, as Cantor Fitzgerald is one of the stablecoin's custodians. Of course, he's going to love the thing that they're also making money from. Can you imagine if he was like, I don't really care for Tether too much? He said, I'm a big fan of this stablecoin called Tether, which I assume he just learned about before he walked on stage, because more than likely he's just been focusing on Bitcoin. He said, I hold their treasuries, so I keep their treasuries, and they have a lot of treasuries. He speak English good. For VanEck, Bitcoin's value comes from its decentralization, something it hasn't struggled with, unlike Ethereum or other layer 1 blockchains, and I'll let that one slide because I know the person who wrote this is probably a Bitcoin maximalist, but regardless. He said the only asset people could have held where no one could take it, Bitcoin, he said, which also isn't entirely true. He said with Tether, you can call Tether and they'll freeze it, he said, alluding to Tether's recent freeze of wallets tied to sanctions. For those of you who weren't here, there was a lot of controversy that Tether is a company and Tether is centralized, and Tether has been freezing wallets because that's what Tether can do. And for some reason, when people found out that they could do this was the craziest thing that people had ever heard, and they were talking about abandoning Tether, and it's like, well, Tether's not really for you. Tether's for like the wealthy people who are trading within the market. He said with Ethereum, you can call Joe Lubin. That's also not a thing. This guy's clearly... Joe Lubin is the CEO of Consensus, an early supporter of Ethereum, and then they talk about Joseph Lubin, and okay, sure. So this made extremely popular news. Can anyone in the class tell me why? Anytime we hear that there's a very wealthy individual within the cryptocurrency, within the traditional financial world who loves cryptocurrencies, it ends up making headline news. Everyone goes completely insane and begins to worship them as if they are the end all for everything. This has happened every single time that these people have stood in the background, haven't said anything or said negative things about Bitcoin. At some point they come forward talking about how amazing it is. Just the timing of this one is also a little bit suspicious, might I say, as we continue to see all the other millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires looking at cryptocurrencies in a brand new way. This guy probably has an egregious amount of Bitcoin, probably never picked up Ether, and probably has just stuck to this one particular thing. This is usually the way that a lot of these people tend to act or react about things. They typically don't have many other altcoins, or if they do, they have one specific one that they then tout very loudly. Not even talking about Tether in this case. It's more of a, yeah. So another rich person has come out in support of crypto Bitcoin, and everyone thought this was absolutely amazing because, why would rich people want something that's going to make them richer? That just doesn't make any sense. It's almost like, not logic that they would want something that could potentially go to $1 million. So that's the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald said that he likes Bitcoin and just Bitcoin. And also, for those of you who were wondering, no, you cannot just call up Joseph Lubin and tell him to freeze or reverse transactions, because Ethereum is decentralized enough that people on the network would be able to see this happening and there would be an uproar. So, that's the rich person news. And guess what? There's also some more. I told you were going to see a pattern in this video, and the pattern is going to be very patterny. Galaxy Digital founder and CEO, his name is Michael Novogratz. Here we go. So before I even begin, Mike Novogratz is a very fascinating figure within the cryptocurrency space, as many people are. I'm pretty sure you've caught on to that at this point. A number of years ago, there were a lot of people who really liked Bitcoin. I mean, they were like obsessed with it. Ethereum came around. Everyone said Ethereum was terrible. And then all of a sudden, everyone started liking Ethereum. And everyone was like, Ethereum is the best coin on the planet. Bitcoin's garbage. And this continued for a while with basically any new coin that came out, with people calling them terrible or awful or saying I would never own it. This thing is, X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case might actually be. And that's where we currently are with this one. I've held a theory for quite a long amount of time. This is a personal theory. I think all their hands are in multiple different cookie jars, but I think that the coin that stands out to them the most is the one that they hold the most of. Like I just said before, logically. Mike Novogratz is noted as years ago stating that Ethereum was the greatest thing on the planet. And it was basically because legend has it that he owns over 1 million Ether. I don't know if this is true, but you can find news about it from years ago. He met Vitalik Buterin in Brooklyn or something like that. Ethereum wasn't doing too well. He gave them $1 million worth of support in exchange for 1 million tokens. That's the news story that we got. And then we started hearing from Novogratz how amazing Ethereum was and how Ethereum was going to take over the world. So we can only assume that he has a lot of Ether. However, at the same exact time, a lot of these people who once only praised Bitcoin and Ethereum now have seemingly found something brand new, like a new toy for them to play with. And they're spreading the word to the rest of the world because, once again, you'll notice the pattern in this video. Galaxy Digital founder and CEO Michael Novogratz has admitted that his past perception of XRP and Ripple was wrong. What? That's insane, Mike Novogratz. How'd you get there? Novogratz now sees Ripple as an institution and what he calls the XRP army as, and I quote, as a real organization that cares about the ecosystem and the coin. So let's stop for a second. What do you think happened? Do you think Mike Novogratz had an actual revelation one night while laying in bed scrolling on Twitter, and he saw people being proud of having XRP or talking about how the company Ripple isn't terrible or they've been doing this and how they've expanded, and he went, oh my gosh, like, these people are right. The people who I've been talking negatively about for the last 7 years, they now make a lot of sense. Or hear me out here, Or would you assume that over the course of the last couple of years, he's been talking negatively about Ripple and XRP? I don't know how often he did it, but we can assume if you say that you're dead wrong about something, we can kind of come to the conclusion that at some point he said something negative. How many of you think that saying something negative was just part of him being like finding a way to be able to acquire XRP for a lower price? Anyone? Right. Okay. So now he believes that Ripple is real and that the people who stand behind Ripple and XRP care about the ecosystem and the coin. And I sat there and rolled my eyes because I was like, what a time to figure all of this out. Especially when the thing that peeves me the most is when all these very wealthy people seemingly out of nowhere figure out that Bitcoin's amazing, that Ethereum is not half bad, and that XRP is going to be the thing that ends up taking over the world or whatever the actual thing is. The billionaire believes that the current U.S. government's unmatched spending has spurred the economy, but admitted that there would be a price to pay down the road. That is to say, you keep printing, you're going to have hyperinflation. Therefore, what have you. The founder and CEO of Galaxy Digital, Mike Novogratz, recently said his perception of XRP and Ripple's business proposition was dead wrong. Novogratz, a billionaire, good for him, added that he now sees the so-called XRP army as a real entity that cares about the ecosystem and the digital asset. This, of course, made very popular news because it's Mike Novogratz. I don't still exclusively understand why we need these people to say something positive about a coin for us to explicitly care about what they're saying. That is to say, many years ago, he talked negatively about Bitcoin because he has a lot of Ether. When he talks positively about Bitcoin, that shouldn't change your perception of Bitcoin because he now says that it's amazing. It's the same exact thing with Jamie Dimon and all these other very wealthy people who at some point figure it out down the line. Did you, listening to this right now, did you need Mike Novogratz to tell you that Ripple is good after they've partnered with 30 different countries and multiple central banks and governments are going to be using the XRP blockchain for their central bank digital currency? Do you now feel that it's better because Mike Novogratz said so? Well, guess what? I have something else for you as well, just so you can feel even better. Former Goldman Sachs executive, his name is Raoul Pal. Guess what he said? Yep, he says he also likes XRP. Oh, what? That's crazy. I just smacked my forehead. I don't know why I did that, but I just smacked my forehead. Yep, Raoul Pal also says he now likes XRP. In an interview with attorney John Deaton, the Real Vision chief executive says he bought the asset after the US SEC sued Ripple and claimed XRP was an unregistered security. He said, when you see something like that, it's like, okay, now the price has been massively discounted. We know it's a real thing. Half the people have been shut out of the market. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. So that's when I bought it, and I've held it ever since. I'm making a face and you can't see it. Unless, okay, correct me if I am incorrect because I might be here. I was, over the last 7 years, under the impression that Raoul Pal was a hyper Bitcoin maximalist. Like I said, if I'm incorrect, please correct me. But also the timing of this is a little like, oh, okay. Well, so like I said, I'm not sure what happened. Literally, I have no idea what happened behind the scenes, who's been talking about it. But the idea that now these people find XRP to be fantastic and awesome and amazing is a little weird, but it is what it is. Pal says he bought XRP for the same reason he purchased Ethereum. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. I guess I get it. So, yeah, for some reason over the last time, a lot of people have been coming out of the woodworks talking about how amazing XRP is, how much they love cryptocurrencies, and it's just a normal trend that we've kind of gotten over the course of the last couple of years, but sure, why not? I'm not sure if this has changed your mindset on Ripple or XRP or Bitcoin or Ethereum because the rich people are buying it, but I was convinced years ago, and I mean even more so a year and a half ago when Ripple basically did everything that they said that they were going to do. It's nice to know that from my vantage point that a lot of people behind the scenes who may have been talking negatively about XRP now love it and probably own a huge portion of it. You know what it takes for a billionaire, for a Mike Novogratz to come out of the woodworks and talk about how much he loves XRP? Do you think he said this about XRP while owning no XRP? Yeah, me neither. That's the rich people have discovered crypto. I welcome to the group. I'm glad you figured it out, and I'm glad you found the coins that you like. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's move on. Also constantly in the news once again, Shibburn, that is Shib, and then Burn, has reported a massive amount of Shiba Inu being burned within the last 24 hours. Apparently, well, okay, that's 100,000 million. Apparently 8.6 billion Shiba Inu were burned over 6 transactions over the course of the last day. This huge amount contributed to a total of 8.655 billion SHIB tokens burned in 7 days. The surge in daily SHIB burn amounts also triggered a jaw-dropping spike in the burn rate. It went up by 727,000% or something like that. Yeah, that's the number. Cool. Good job, Shiba Inu, in making sure that you're in the news every single day. We have not gotten any news as far as extra updates or upgrades? I know they have the layer 2 solution, but we heard before from Toshi Kusama, amazing name, that they were going to have extra upgrades and updates, and there was going to be a metaverse. Am I going crazy? I'm pretty sure there was going to be a metaverse, and some other updates and things were being voted on. We typically have only been getting burn news. So, cool. That's the Shiba burn news. Okie dokie. Let's move on. So this one was actually quite confusing to me, and I'm not even half joking. I was reading through it and I was like, is this what? Bitcoin infrastructure company, they're known as Blockstream, who's been in the news a lot. Blockstream used to be in the news every 3 weeks. In 2017, 2018, they were constantly in the news as the people who kind of like deal with Bitcoin's code, take care of, offer solutions for things happening within the Bitcoin ecosystem. We didn't hear about them for 2, 3, 4 years. And now for some reason, they're in the news like 3 times a week. I don't know what happened, but they are very, very public and open once again. Bitcoin infrastructure company Blockstream is apparently gearing up to launch a Series 2 of the Blockstream Basic Note. So it's Blockstream ASIC Note, but it's spelled out in BASIC. A Bitcoin-denominated investment instrument following the high demand for its first series. The Series 1 note, launched in September, closed with over $5 million, surpassing Blockstream's target. Series 2, in collaboration with Luxembourg-based digital securities platform Stoker, STOKR, aims to target qualified non-US investors looking to evaluate historically low prices for Bitcoin mining hardware or application-specific integrated circuits known as ASICs, therefore BASICs. Blockstream has not disclosed a target for the second series. According to Dr. Adam Back, the CEO of Blockstream, the response to Series 1 reflects an increasing demand in Bitcoin-focused instruments. He stated, with Series 2, we aim to leverage this momentum by providing non-US investors with a strategic entry point into the Bitcoin ASIC market through a Bitcoin-based product. Our focus on efficient miner procurement and strong industry relationships positions us uniquely for the upcoming 2024 halving and beyond. So this was major news, and I think I get it. It sounds like they're collecting money to buy new machines to buy Bitcoin, to mine Bitcoin, but it's announced that it's an investment instrument. And I assume that the instrument is giving them money so that they can buy new machines. Why this was so popular, I don't have an actual answer for you. But this was one of the top news stories out there, that Blockstream is raising money to be able to do this. In what way this would hyper benefit them, I'm not sure. I'm sure the people who gave them money, of course, would receive some change back. But right, I think we're going to move on. This was very popular news, but it's also like is the news that they're just raising money to, first of all, Blockstream mines an enormous amount of Bitcoin. So I don't really understand why they need a Series 2 round. I'm pretty sure a lot of the people there are like wealthy, like minted, but cool. Blockstream's in the news once again, as they have been for the last couple of months. I'm sure we're going to hear about them again over the course of the next couple of weeks, as that just seems to be the way that a lot of the news is going right now. And yeah, let's move on. Also in popular news, VanEck has come out with a number of predictions for the cryptocurrency space. One of the more popular ones, okay. One of the more popular ones is that apparently there will be a new all-time high for Bitcoin. Got it. Amazing. But they're not predicting a flippening for Ethereum. That is to say, Ethereum becoming the #1 coin. Also major news. A lot of people are throwing out their price predictions right now, as we've been seeing over the course of the last couple of months. They range quite rangely. at the moment, and none of them seem to make a lot of sense. There are a lot of people who are assuming that by Q1, the first 3 months of the year, Bitcoin will hit a brand new all-time high. We have people who are saying that they believe by the end, which is nonsense. Like I mathematically can't imagine that in my head. People are saying that it's going to take Bitcoin another 13 months to be able to go up by $30,000. That it does. That's not how. It's literally not how it's going to work. And then also a lot of people, as with every single bull run, are trying to discuss the probability of there being an Ethereum flippening. And depending on who you ask, a lot of people believe that at some point it is going to be a thing. I think I have to get off that train at some point because Ethereum is probably never going to become the #1 coin. I think it will excel price-wise. Ethereum and altcoins tend to outperform Bitcoin percentage-wise when it comes to movements up. But as far as there being an actual flippening, I mean, sure, why not? I've also seen, it's not in this video and it probably won't be in any video. There were a lot of people who were talking about where they think Ethereum's price is going to be by the end of next year. And I couldn't believe it. They were saying that they're expecting a $3,000 or $3,200 Ether by the end of 2024. And I was like, if Bitcoin goes back above 70 or 80,000, we're going to have a $4,000 Ether once again. How you can think that Ethereum's not going to, it's just really weird. But I do think a lot of it has to do with bias, personal opinion, as far as like the coins that these people own and how far they think that they're actually going to move up. But as it stood before and still stands now, we are not that far from the SEC news and all that other stuff. And if we end up getting good news, we can then only expect that we are going to see rapidly higher prices. But it's VanEck. They're a gigantic institution and people listen to what they say. And if people hear them say that they're expecting coins to go up to a certain amount, people are going to listen. But we'll go over this by the end of next year. But a lot of people think that prices are going to go completely crazy in the beginning of the year. I am one of those people. We see exactly where we end up going because I'm not expecting, personally, as I've seen other halvings, I'm not expecting negativity or for Bitcoin's price to only go up by $500 per month. Like it just doesn't. That's not at all how the market is going to work. I do hope sincerely that you have all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Very big shout out to all the billionaires who are now publicly telling everyone to get into the cryptocurrency space. That's a lovely little form of manipulation. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.